Oh. The crocodile hunter has died. But you know what? He had to die to balance out the universe, all right? If he would have lived to be 104 and died of fucking hay fever or something, the earth would have exploded, all right? Because he ignored one of the universal rules, which is don't fuck with animals, right? But he didn't just ignore it, did he? No. He waved his dick at it, didn't he? Yeah. He danced the foxtrot around it, you know? And all I'm saying is, if you're gonna run around the world and bang hookers every day for 20 years without a condom, you can't cry when it burns. Right? And normally speaking, don't you, whenever you hear of like a person getting attacked by an animal, don't you get kind of a little kick in your step? I'm the only asshole in this fucking room, really? I feel like somebody gave me a hug every time I hear about that shit. I don't give a fuck. Because there's a sense of justice to it. The person was probably fucking with the animal's territory, so I'm like, you deserve that, you dick. Like, haven't you ever seen the footage of the hunter he was out to kill, and his gun jams, and then a deer fucks him up? You seen it, right? He's like, oh, my shit, my gun jammed. Cock-a-doodle-doo. And then there's a little gangster-ass deer across the street, just eating berries and being pretty. And he hears something. He's like, are you gonna shoot me, man? And then it doesn't even hesitate. And it just goes, pow, like that. And he does the front shit where like, the guy goes down, and he does the back shit like, I'm so fat, I'm out of breath just from doing that shit right there. Christ almighty.
A little bit about myself. I am bluish, I am black and Jewish. Thank you. My dad looks like Arthur Ashe, and my mom looks like Howard Stern. And that is why I look like Ernie from Sesame Street. My parents done fuck, bro. My dad is from Haiti, and my mom is from Manhattan. Guess which one's the Jew? And my dad just found out what Google is a few weeks ago. Can I tell you how fucking old school and fresh off the boat my father is? He's like, oh, now they have Google? Whoa! You can type one word in Google, bloop, bloop, 1 million words come up. I can't do my dad's voice, I'm sorry. I sound like the fucking Lion King or something, I'm sorry. But man, yeah, my parents fucked, okay? My parents fucked. Everyone in here, your parents fucked. Your parents, everybody, let's do a meditation. Close your eyes and imagine your parents, your dad, balls deep, and finishing in your mom. Because that's what happened. You can moan and groan all you want, but you wouldn't be here, you little shits, if your dad didn't fucking explode his Spider-Man DNA web into your long-suffering mom's vulva, who wasn't bothering anybody. She was just playing Sudoku. She was eating cantaloupe. Your fucking disgusting, horny dad just came in. You gotta admit it, right? Fact of life. Your dad had sex with your mom. Your mom went down on your dad. Your dad went down on your mom. And then your dad put on that leather gimp mask and he lied under a glass coffee table. Your mom took a big shit over it, and then 5 months later, you were born, okay? I'm assuming he's a preemie. I don't know. He has premature energy. I don't know.
As a concept, it is reasonable to assume if you've been with somebody 3 years, you have a healthy thing going on, you may have slept together a few hundred times, right? Right. Now, I want you to think about how many times your dad has finished inside of your mom. So many times. Tom, why would you say that? Well, basically, I think all of our moms are a bunch of cum dumpsters, but your mom more than my mom. Now, I know. It's a tough image to get out of your head once I've planted it, right? You're like, God damn it, my mom's dripping? Probably, yeah. Soaking wet. Look, your mom has done some nasty shit. Let's talk about it. She really has. And look, I'm here to defend her, all right? It is not her fault. It's your dad's fault, for sure. Your dad, with all due respect, is kind of a piece of shit. A little bit. And if you're like, not my dad, he's good. Yeah, to you. He's not always like that to your mom. If they've been together 3 decades, you don't think he says some off-colored shit every now and then? Of course he does. They're laying in bed, your dad's tossing and turning, he can't sleep. And your poor mother, is everything all right, dear? It's fine. Was supper good? Yeah, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. Can I do anything to help? Yeah, you can lick my balls, all right? And you want to know something? Your poor mother, she does it, all right? Because she's a ball hog, so your mom gets down there. And she goes, I like my life. She does it. Oh, your mom. Now, your grandma. Think about some of the things that she's done. On the railroad tracks or wherever she used to fuck around. El Paso, I don't know. Yeah, I've been on a tour, which no one really has been on this scale or scope before. It's pretty wild. I've toured all of North America, and then I have, Australia, New Zealand. I have Latin America coming up. Then I do Europe, then I do Asia, and then I pass away at the very end. But, my agent wants a boat, so let's hook him up. The best part of international touring, if you're a performer, is that you get treated so much better than you should ever be treated. I mean, my theory is they can't believe you took the flight. I'm serious. My last tour ended in Australia. I got off the plane, and the promoters meet you there. They're like, you're here? And you're like, yeah, we have a contract. I thought we were doing this, And then they offer you the world. It's wild. Like, they go, we're going to take you to the best restaurant in the country tonight. I go, oh, wow, thank you. And they go, tomorrow, you'll be on the field for a rugby match. I'm like, no shit. And they go, the next day, you're going to meet the prime minister. And you're like, this is for stand-up? Are you sure about this? One of them says to me, would you like a private tour through an animal sanctuary? And I was like, yeah, I would. It was amazing. Then the lady in charge of that place goes, would you like to hold a koala? I go, let me ask you something. Who the fuck says no to that? Of course I want to hold a koala. They're adorable. And I did, and it was. And then she walked me out. And she goes, I hope you have great shows in Australia. I said, thank you very much. She goes, can I ask you a favor? I'm like, yeah, anything. She goes, don't make the same koala jokes everybody makes. And I go, you got it. What the fuck would those be? And she goes, because koalas have chlamydia. And I go, wait, what? She goes, most koalas in the wild have chlamydia, but it's a different strain than what humans have. Okay. She goes, everybody makes the same joke. Don't fuck a koala, because you'll get chlamydia. And it's just not true. Okay. And she goes, will you tell people? I will never let her down. And if you guys leave here with anything tonight, I hope it is this. You can go to Australia, and you can fuck all the koalas that you want to, and you will not get chlamydia. Also, speaking from experience, it is not that fun. They wiggle a lot, they smell weird. I recommend a hand job from a kangaroo. They have these little paws, and they let you come in their pouch, and they bring it home to their families. That's a bloomin' onion, mate, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I get in the car, he goes, "Is the temperature all right, sir?" I go, "It's fine." He goes, "Would you like a bottle of water, sir?" And I go, "You don't have to call me sir. You can just call me Tom." And at that moment, all of his professionalism went out the window. The very next thing he said was, "You smoke weed?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah, sometimes." And he goes, "Do you want to smoke some now?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah." But I don't think my driver should be offering me, you know? He doesn't miss a beat. He opens the console, he takes out a joint, he lights it, he passes it back. I hit it out of respect, right, because he's old. And then I give it back to him, and the next thing he says is, "Yeah, I can't drive unless I'm fucked up." I'm like, "Do you hear what you just said?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm ripped right now." And I'm like, "Well, hands on 10 and 2, motherfucker. Like, keep it together." I goes, "Is that all you do? Smoke weed? I can handle a guy that smokes weed." He goes, "Well, I love it all." I'm like, "What's all?" That's a broad statement. He goes, "I love coke, I love heroin, but there's nothing like smoking rocks. You know what I'm saying?" And I was like, "No, I don't know what you're saying." Mind you, this is while he's driving, so it's actually like, "I love smoking rocks, man. You know." I'm like, "Dude, turn around." So I go, "Can I ask you something?" He goes, "Yeah, what's up?" I go, "What's it like to smoke rocks? I've never done that before." And he goes, "Ooh." I was like, "Is that the whole sentence? Is that it?" He goes, "That shit is the best." And what I like to do personally is I like to sit in my apartment and fire them up. And then I look out the peephole and I watch people walk around. And I just freak the fuck out about what's gonna happen next. And then he gave me a head nod like, "Doesn't that sound awesome?" I was like, "Dude, that sounds terrible. That's called a panic attack, and that's a horrible sales pitch for crack. Now I'm definitely not gonna try it." We pull up to the airport, and I go, "It's none of my business, but I think you're too old to be messing with all these drugs." And he goes, "I don't do it anymore, Tom." Yeah, it was sir at the top of the ride. Now it's Tom, you piece of shit. "I don't do it anymore. I did it when I was younger." And I go, "All right." And he goes, "I mean, I still do it every once in a while. But you know what they say. If you do something every once in a while, it's not that bad for you." And I was like, "Dude, I think they mean that about like pizza and chocolate." Nobody ever means that for crack, just so you know. That porn has gotten way too aggressive these days. It's way too aggressive. You know where it's at? 80s porn. Yeah. Go to your dad's drawer. Pull out a VHS. Watch an 80s porn. That's when porn was fun and exciting and consensual. And they had 80s porn had fun little plot lines like, "I've lost all my pants! What am I gonna do with this cock?" And then some girl will be like, "You can keep it in here for a week." And these days, it's all choking and spit in my mouth, spit in my eye. Everyone's spitting on everybody. And the titty slapping. Right? Not cool. Not sexy. No. Do you like having your titties slapped? No. You like it like that. Right? Or like a, or even like if it's behind like a... And I like... Stop slapping titties. That's where mama's milk comes from, all right? That's what this show's all about. That's what I want you to leave with today. My message for '08, to change America. Stop slapping titties. Thank you guys very much. I moved recently. Because of you nice folks, I could buy a nice house, and I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, thank you. I bought a house in a neighborhood, though, that I think is too nice, you know? Like, it kind of reminds me of a store. You ever walk into a store and, like, right away you're like, I should leave, like, when you get there? I feel like whenever they offer you something to drink in a store, that's a sign, you know? Some stores you walk into and they're like, would you like still or sparkling water? And you're like, I left something in the car. I'll be right back. Well, I mean, all my neighbors, they're like investment bankers and partners in legal firms, and then I'm there. Like, do you eat ass, or what do you do, man, you know? And they're like, thanks for buying a house. It's great to have you. Here's what's wild. A current or former United States Senator, I shall not say whom, lives in my neighborhood. Everybody talks about him. I know which house is his. I'd never met him. Now I'm home from tour, and I decide to start my day with a morning walk, a casual walk. You know, I have some coffee. Let's get the day started. I go for a walk. I walk past his house. He comes outside. I don't say anything, right? But he yells out. He goes, hey, are you the comedian? I go, yeah. He goes, where do you think the term motherfucker comes from? Hello, it's nice to meet you. I go, I don't know. He goes, you think it's from people doing that? I'm like, fucking their moms? And he goes, yeah. I go, I don't know. He goes, how many people do you think do that? I go, more than you want it to be. And he's like, meow. Then, and I'm not making this up, I could not make this up, he says to me, how about daughter fuckers? I go, first of all, that's not an expression that anybody uses. Right? No one's like, check out this crazy daughter fucker over here. I go, if you have kinks, we can talk about them, but not like this. I don't like this at all. And he goes, meow. And he just turns around and walks into his house. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I keep walking, just contemplating every mistake I've ever made that led me to that conversation. And now I'm walking home. So I walk past his house again. He comes back outside. He goes, hey, I didn't want it to end like that. That was weird. It was. He goes, I thought about it. And a motherfucker is not somebody who fucks their own mom. I go, oh, do tell. He goes, a motherfucker is someone who fucks your mom. He goes, that's the most disrespectful thing anyone can do, so if somebody is particularly rude, you call them a motherfucker. And I go, wow. I am so impressed that you put that together so quickly. I can see why you may or may not be Ted Cruz. And then I walk away. Oops. He hates his real name, and this is something that came about a few years ago. And when it first happened, I got kind of nervous. So I did what you do in those situations. I asked other parents, and they were like, oh, it's just a phase. I go, what? I think it's a little phase. He's going through a phase. A lot of kids don't like their names, but it'll end in just a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, it's a phase. Do you know how long it's been? About 3 years. That isn't so much a phase, in my opinion, as a new path. That's where I think we are. His birth name is Julian. That's what we've always called him, and that's what he used to respond to because it's his fucking name, right? He would also respond to variations of it. Julian, Juju, Jujito, Julian. And he'd be like, mm-hmm. And then one day, about 3 years ago, I was like, hey, Julian. He was like, don't ever call me that. I hate that name. When you say that name, I want to die. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. So now this kid will only talk to us if we call him by his self-imposed name, which, buckle up, is teacher. Is there a creepier name to use when addressing a small child? Like, hello, my teacher. Is this The Shining? Because it feels like it. It feels like Jordan Peele's next movie, like a fucking kid from the woods that walks into town to follow teacher and live long. And you're like, okay. You get it, right? I walk into my own house and I go, is teacher here? And he goes, yes. And I go, hello, sir. And people have the balls to ask me, they're like, are you worried? Of course I'm fucking worried. The only other person I know that went by teacher is Charles Manson. So yeah, I'm worried. You know, you do it differently than on the way I do it, but I totally respect your commitment to the craft.
Welcome to This Is Not Happening, everybody. Thank you.
So here's the show. It's just a bunch of funny people, and we're all telling true stories. Please give it up for a very good friend of mine, Mr. Tom Segura, everybody.
All right. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but comedians' lives are lonely. It's a lonely existence. I mean, you're in airports and hotels and just cities with strangers every week. It gets lonely. Like, it really does. Like, you can only masturbate like so many times before you're like, I gotta get something to eat, you know? Like, it's one of those things. You gotta find something to boost you up. You know what's the biggest boost, the biggest spark when you're on the road is actually running into another comedian. It's the best. I can't even describe it to you. It's the one thing that you're like, yes. If it's a comedian you already know, it's like a reunion. If it's a comedian you've never met, there's so much excitement at the potential. You're like, oh, is he gonna be weird? Is he gonna be hilarious? Is it gonna be hilarious how weird he is? Like, there's so much there. You know, it's how I imagine serial killers feel when they meet each other the first time. They're like, you know, you do it differently than on the way I do it, but I totally respect your commitment to the craft. Like, you keep their toes in jars. That's nuts. That's awesome. So I'm at the airport, and I'm waiting to board a flight. And who do I see at the gate boarding the same flight? The comedian Bruce. Now, if you don't know who Bruce is, super successful comic. He's had TV shows. He sells out clubs and theaters everywhere. He's awesome. I've never met him. I see him at the gate. I'm like, I'm going to go talk to Bruce. And then I go, no, you're not. Bruce doesn't want to talk to you. So I don't say anything. Then we board the flight, and I get upgraded. Woo! Upgraded. And now, who is sitting directly across the aisle from me? Bruce. Now I can't help myself. Now I have to say something. So I introduce myself to Bruce. Now, for this to really make sense to you, if you don't know who he is, I have to paint a picture, okay? Bruce is black, he has dreads, and he's a big boy, all right? Like when you say your name twice, there's a lot of you. Bruce is like 4 bills, okay? So, I might name myself Tom Tom if I gain another 100 pounds. So, I'm sitting across the aisle from Bruce, and I introduced myself, and he could not be nicer. Just to give you an idea of his status, we're at the gate on this plane, and the flight attendant announces that we're stuck at the gate. And she says, you can get off if you want to, just take your boarding pass with you, and then you can get back on. So as I'm talking to him and they say that, I go, I'm not getting off. And he goes, I'm not getting off. And then a woman, a passenger from the back of the plane, walks up, and she leans down to him, and she goes, I'm getting off. Is there anything you want or need? And he goes, I would love some candy. And she goes, candy? And he goes, Twix, Skittles, shit like that. And then she gets off the plane, and I go, who is that? And he goes, I don't know. And I'm like, are strangers just buying you candy? And he goes, yeah. Like, that's Bruce status, okay? So we keep talking. We start talking about gigs that we've done, and we start talking about comedians and who's funny, who are the funniest comics ever. And we start literally listing comedians through time. Like, we start with, like, Lenny Bruce and Dick Gregory, and we talk about George Carlin and Richard Pryor, all the way through Eddie Murphy, and then to today, you know, Kevin Hart and Dave Attell. And then Bruce says, that's all good, but do you know who the funniest cat of all time is? Now, I think it's a setup. I think he's gonna be like, it's me, bitch. I'm the funny, like, it's like that, right? That's what I think it's gonna be. And I'm gonna let him have it. So I go, nah, like, who's the funniest cat of all time? And he goes, Andy Griffith. And I go, what? And he goes, Andy Griffith. And I go, are you talking about, like, that dude? And he goes, yeah, you ever been to the Andy Griffith Museum before? And I go, what kind of question is that? No, of course not, man. Like, is that real? And he goes, real? They have the car that he used to sit in, and you can sit in it too, and you can touch shit that he used to touch. And he goes, did you ever see episode 215 of the Andy Griffith Show? And I go, no, ass burgers, I didn't see episode 215. And he goes, that's my favorite episode. It originally aired March 13th, 1967. And I go, are you fucking with me right now? And he goes, nah, it was March 13th, 1967. And then he ate Twix, and he didn't talk to me for the rest of the flight. But I am begging you, if you ever see Bruce anywhere, walking around, sitting down, at a show, anywhere, just go, hey man, Andy Griffith is the shit. And he'll be like, oh no, I've been saying that shit. And he'll lose his mind. That's it for me. You guys are the best. I swear to God, there's no more liberating and fun thing to do in this world than scream in your best aggressive black guy voice. Holy shit. So much fun. I highly recommend you do it. Not if you're black. If you're black, you already do it. But if you're white, do it. Do it in public. Do it where there are black people. And here's a little secret. If you do it well, there's a possibility that a black guy will yell back in return. I do it all the time. I live in Los Angeles. Pick your spot. I go to Crenshaw. There's never a shortage there. I do. I hang back and I go, hey, yeah! Sometimes a black guy will go, sup, D? I did it to Big Daddy Kane one time. I swear to God. I swear, hand to God. If you don't know who Big Daddy Kane is, you can go fuck yourself, okay? I was standing on Sunset Boulevard. A limousine pulled up. Like, for Sunset? Really? All right. A limo pulled up, like, I don't know, 30 feet from me. I was just like, all right, see the door open. Who's getting out of this limo? Expecting like a bachelor party or some shit. fucking Big Daddy Kane. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And something just took over, you know? The spirit grabbed me. And I was like, sup, Kane? And his head whipped around. He was like, you? I was like, oh, that wasn't me, man. Somebody over there did that shit. That wasn't me. If you ever see Big Daddy Kane, please do the same shit to him. I think that 69ing is overrated and it sucks. Yeah. Yeah, you see that? Some people clap and some people are like, arrest this man. But listen, the story of why is more important. Do you remember when you first heard about it? I do. I was in 3rd grade, and that's too young, all right? One of the older kids told me, and I was like, what? At the same time? I almost had a seizure. I didn't know what he was saying. I didn't even have references so I could pretend like I understood. I was like, that's like eating a cheeseburger covered in ice cream while you're taking a shitter. And he was like, that's exactly what it's like. From that day on, I was hooked. When I tell you I was obsessed, I was obsessed. I'm not saying it for a story. It is all I talked about, thought about, dreamt about, sung about, joked about. 69, 69, 69, 69. Every notebook in school, I was like, 69, 69, 69, 69. Every sports team I was on, I was like, I'm number 69. And they're like, this is 5th grade basketball. Why don't you chill out, buddy? Every birthday, every Christmas, my dad goes, what do you want? I go, I want a 69. He goes, shut up and stop saying that. And I was like, no, defiant, no. 69, 69. It's gonna be the best, be the best, be the best, be the best, be the best. 69. It's gonna be like smoking meth out of God's dick. I wanna do it, I wanna do it, I wanna do it. And I built it up, and I built it up, and I built it up. And when I finally got to do it, You know what the first thing I said was? Get off me, all right? My neck hurts. I can't get my nose out of the way. Does it feel good? It feels like I'm working, all right? It'd feel better if you flipped over and polished me off, and then I'll do you. Why's it gotta be at the same time? Are we late for something? Is the youth pastor coming back in a few minutes? Let's take turns like we learned in kindergarten. What type of maniac 69s as an adult? I mean, if you're a guy, I hope you're at least a gentleman about it and you lay on your back and you're not one of these savage fucking pigs who's like, I prefer this angle. And then you can hear the fight to live underneath you. And you're like, yeah, that feels good. I bet it fucking does feel good. As you're throating that poor lady underneath you, I don't think there's a more horrific picture I can paint than that of a woman, a lovely woman. Like, picture your mom laying on her back in anticipation of 69ing from the bottom. And she's like, what the fuck? And she's got that look on her face like, is the search party gonna find me here? And then a man, a disgusting man, like me, is like, well, saddle up, here we go. And there's dingleberries and lint. And here's your mom, and I'm like, bop, bop, bop. And then if I do that, I hear, what's on my forehead? And I'm like, that's my gut. That's daddy's wet trash bag gut.
I met, like I said, meeting a lot of people. I met a woman after a show recently. They're allowed at my shows. And see, they're here. And she came up to me and she was like, it's a very specific woman, all right? I do feel like I just did a 0.02 second impression. Everybody's like, I know exactly who you're talking about right now. So, because every city has. You know my favorite part of that woman is? If you go, why are you laughing? And she'll go, I'm not. Okay. So she comes up to me and she goes, funny show. And I go, thanks. Thanks, motherfucker, I appreciate it. So I go, thank you. And she goes, are you gonna go jerk off all over your hotel room now? And I was like, ugh. I said, I'm probably just gonna pick a spot. You know, I'm not gonna do it. She goes, yeah, I get it. And I was like, God. And she goes, I'm super horny. And I go, okay. She goes, I'm horny the way guys are. And I go, no, you're not. And she goes, yeah. And I said, you're really not. And she goes, yeah? Why do you say that? And I said, let me tell you a little story. When I was a freshman in college, I looked like this. I looked 47 years old. It was alarming to other students. They would see me walking through the doors and they'd be like, are you a fucking administrator here or something? I'd be like, I'm a freshman, I'm 18. And they're like, you're a narc, that's what you are. This is my birth face, man. I'm 41 Jump Street. So, with this face came great responsibility. I bought alcohol for our entire dorm. I don't mean 3 or 4, everybody. It wasn't even a challenge. I looked so old that when I walked into liquor stores, they'd be like, hello, sir, how's the stock market today? Shit like that. I bought booze to everybody. Everybody got booze. I did the same thing with pornography. And let me tell you, before you jump at me like, why would you do that? You just watch it in your dorm room online. Well, the story takes place in 1997. And there was a lot of buffering back then. That is the truth. I don't know if you remember the late 90s or if you were even around, but like porn in the late 90s was like, ha ha, Who am I kidding? I use my right hand, so, Now, keep in mind, I'm not buying porn for a couple buddies. It is for an entire building of 18-year-old freshman dudes in college. You can't wrap your head around how massive and specific these orders were. I would go door to door and guys would hand me cash and their wish list. They'd be like, I want black cocks, asses, and feet. Don't fuck it up. I'm like, all right. Do you know what kind of a psychopath I looked like? Walking through a porn store with a grocery list, like... Mom said not to forget. So one day, I am buying outrageous amounts of porn. And the owner of the store comes up to me. He goes, you should go to this other store. And I'm like, that is a weird thing to tell your best customer, man. So I go, why? He just goes, I just think you'll like it. And so I go, okay. I go. He sends me to, I don't know if you've ever been to a cement block building with no sign or address. The kind of building that's like, I don't know, you fucking guess what's in here. Like that? Well, I walk in and I see a man wearing overalls and no t-shirt, which I think we all know is the international uniform for the last guy you'll ever see. Now, this guy is behind the counter. He looks up and sees me, and the first words out of his mouth are, piss fetish? And I go, what? No. And he goes, oh, I got a full bladder. Don't want to waste it. And I go, what the fuck? I said, is that what you do around here? And he goes, among other things. I said, well then, show me around. Like, let me see what else you have, you know? I don't want to be closed-minded. So we go through the store. He shows me movies and toys. He goes, we got a booth. You can put in a quarter. And I go, yeah, I got it. He goes, but this here's our VIP. And you'll notice there's a hole in the wall. And if you're standing in there, someone might stick their finger through that hole. And they'll go, just like this. And if you want to, you stick your prick in that hole and someone will suck it on the other side. And my dumbass goes, is it a guy or a girl? And he goes, you see any other cars in that parking lot, Junior? So then I felt a pool of diarrhea forming inside of me and fear shooting down my spine, as I was certain I was gonna get kidnapped and raped by Mr. Fuck Dynasty. So I said, I'll just take my movies, thanks. So lady, when you say you're horny the way guys are, I ask you, are you willing to go into an unmarked building and wait behind a wall for a stranger to stick his dick through a hole in that wall and then you polish it off for the love of the game? Because that's what savages men are. And she goes, yeah, I'm not that horny. And I go, I know. See, I just feel a responsibility to remind women of what pigs men are. If you're a woman and you're here with a man right now, you should know he is 2 drinks away from walking into that booth. And honestly, I'm no better. If he had answered my question differently, if I'd have been like, hey, is that a guy or a girl? And he went, I don't know. I'd be like, well, I don't fucking know either. So. Wow, she's got a rough chin on her for sure. Hey, where'd you go, man? I don't see you anywhere. All right. All right, I lost some of you on that one. That's fine. That's how that goes. So, I know, I see. Some women are like, My man would never do that. Okay, sure. I'll tell you on a grand scale who's helping nobody lose weight. It's Starbucks. And this is true. They have a national training campaign to try to trick you into ordering food. And this is why. They know you're going to order a beverage. So they try to lead you into food. Pull into any Starbucks drive-thru, and now they greet you. They say, welcome to Starbucks. What can we get started for you to eat today? And you're like, wait, what? I just wanted coffee. And they're like, no shit. What else do you want? So then you're like, I don't know, sausage? Like, what do you have? I don't respect that. I like my shame straight up and honest. And nobody does that better than the West Coast burger chain In-N-Out. And if you've never been in In-N-Out, get your fucking life together and go. And I want you to go simply so you can experience the most shameful and honest question in all of fast food. Because you pull up and you go, I'll have a double, fries and a Coke. And they go, will you be eating in the car? Yeah, I think so. And they go, I bet you will, you fat fucking pile of garbage. Doesn't that question sting? You're like, am I living in my car? Why am I eating in my car? Because if you say no, they give you a bag and they're like, leave with dignity. But if you say yes, it's an open tray and they go, eat out of that, pig. And then it falls in your lap and they go, pick it up. And you're like, and they go, are you gonna jerk off when you get home because you're lonely? And you're like, yeah. We're gonna give you a free milkshake because you're bumming everybody out. We're fast food workers. You're making us sad. Get the fuck out of here. My doctor comes in. He doesn't say hello. He doesn't say good morning. He just walks in. He points at me, which is super aggressive, you know? To start a conversation with somebody like, hey, man. You're like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, what? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, I don't get it. And he goes, has nobody told you that your hair's falling out? And I was like, damn. No. And he goes, oh, sorry. Like, all right.
Then he pulls my chart out of the slot, super dramatic, so that it makes a fucking noise. He goes, I'm like, and he goes, wow. And I'm like, really? Wow. Is it full-blown AIDS? Like, why is it wow? And he goes, you weigh 245. And I go like, yeah, like I knew that shit. And he goes, you weighed 230 last time you were here. Not exactly what I would call weight loss. And I'm like, are we at a fucking roast or something? Right? Like, what are you doing? Then he says, you know, you're the fattest patient I've seen all day. And I go, it's 9:30 in the morning. And he goes, still. He's like, you know, we ran your blood work. It turns out your muscle enzymes are through the roof. And I go, yeah, man, like, I'm super strong. Like, how is that a problem? And he goes, they're off the charts. I'm like, even better. I'm probably your strongest patient, man. And he goes, I don't think you understand muscle enzymes. And I go, that's true. I don't know what they are. And he goes, well, the only way you could have them this high would be like, A, if you were an Olympic athlete, which clearly... You know, I'm like, dude, what is the deal, man? And he goes, the other way would be if you were a cocaine addict. And I go, I don't do coke. And he goes, I'm your doctor. You don't have to lie to me. And I go, I'm not lying. And he goes, I can't treat you if you're not going to be honest. And I go, hey, man, aren't cokeheads skinny? Isn't that like part of the deal? And he goes, usually, yeah. The nurse comes in, she takes my chart out of his hands, and she goes, oh my God, his muscle enzymes are so high. Maybe he runs marathons. And my doctor goes, look at him. So at this point, I go, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me today. I moved recently. Because of you nice folks, I could buy a nice house, and I'm very thankful for that. Yeah. Thank you. I bought a house in a neighborhood, though, that I think is too nice, you know? Like, it kind of reminds me of a store. You ever walk into a store and, like, right away you're like, I should leave, like, when you get there? I feel like whenever they offer you something to drink in a store, that's a sign, you know? Some stores you walk into and they're like, would you like still or sparkling water? And you're like, I left something in the car. I'll be right back. Well, I mean, all my neighbors, they're like investment bankers and partners in legal firms, and then I'm there. Like, do you eat ass, or what do you do, man, you know? And they're like, thanks for buying a house. It's great to have you. Here's what's wild. A current or former United States Senator, I shall not say whom, lives in my neighborhood. Everybody talks about him. I know which house is his. I'd never met him. Now I'm home from tour, and I decide to start my day with a morning walk, a casual walk. You know, I have some coffee. Let's get the day started. I go for a walk. I walk past his house. He comes outside. I don't say anything, right? But he yells out. He goes, hey, are you the comedian? I go, yeah. He goes, where do you think the term motherfucker comes from? Hello, it's nice to meet you. I go, I don't know. He goes, you think it's from people doing that? I'm like, fucking their moms? And he goes, yeah. I go, I don't know. He goes, how many people do you think do that? I go, more than you want it to be. And he's like, meow. Then, and I am not making this up, I could not make this up, he says to me, how about daughter fuckers? I go, first of all, that's not an expression that anybody uses. Right? No one's like, check out this crazy daughter fucker over here. I go, if you have kinks, we can talk about them, but not like this. I don't like this at all. And he goes, meow. And he just turns around and walks into his house. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I keep walking, just contemplating every mistake I have ever made that led me to that conversation. And now I'm walking home. So I walk past his house again. He comes back outside. He goes, "Hey, I didn't want it to end like that. That was weird." It was. He goes, "I thought about it. And a motherfucker is not somebody who fucks their own mom." I go, "Oh, do tell." He goes, "A motherfucker is someone who fucks your mom." He goes, "That's the most disrespectful thing anyone can do. So if somebody is particularly rude, you call them a motherfucker." And I go, "Wow." I am so impressed that you put that together so quickly. I can see why you may or may not be Ted Cruz. And then I walked away. Oops. Sometimes you witness the power imbalance play out in front of you between the genders in a grotesque fashion. Of course, when I say the genders, I am only speaking of 2 of the several hundred that now exist. I would like it to be clear where I stand. I have no problem calling anybody anything they wish to be called. It is no burden on me. You can identify as a shoelace if you want to. And I will call you Zippity Zimzer if you ask me to. Do I think it's a little silly? Yeah, but so is badminton, and that's an Olympic event, you know? So here's what happened. I was shooting a movie a few months back, and one day we wrapped up kind of early from filmmaking. It was late afternoon, and I walk off set, and I notice there's a bar across the street. I go, I'm gonna walk into this bar, have a drink, go back to the hotel. Simple enough, right? I walk in, I see a woman seated at the bar doing what I can only describe as weird shit. If you're like, what do you mean, Tom? Well, I think there's a normal spectrum of behavior that you see from one seated at a bar. You know, if you see them seated there, you might see them go like this, or like, hey, or maybe even, ha ha ha. This lady is seated at the bar and she's going, I'm like, is she making fudge? What is she doing over there? I also notice it late. Like I notice it as I'm walking past it. That happens sometimes, right? Like you walk, you see something as you're passing it, you're like, that's some crazy shit, and you keep walking. And then you're like, I need to see that again. I don't know how I'm gonna see it again. Now I'm dead center, and I see that a woman, to be clear, is in public, 4:30 in the afternoon, and she is sitting there fucking peeling her potato. I don't know, playing with her pussy. You know what I'm trying to say. And she is not hot, if you're wondering. If you're like, was she super hot? No, she wasn't. And because of that, I tattletaled immediately. You know what's up. So I go to the bouncer, I go, excuse me. That not model over there is diddling herself at the bar. And this big yoked dude looks, and he goes, I go, yeah, talk to her. And he goes, mm-mm. I'm like, excuse me? He goes, I don't want anything to do with that shit. I'm like, I don't think anybody does. There's a woman masturbating at the bar. He's like, ugh, like he's put out by my outrageous request. He's like, all right, man, Jesus Christ. So he gets up, he walks like halfway there, turns around, he goes, yeah, I couldn't do it, man. I go, you have to.
So he calls over the hostess, this cute little 22-year-old. He's like, what's up, guys? And he goes, handle that. And she's like, okay. She goes over there, super polite, which is fucked up, considering the circumstances. I can't hear her, but I could read her body language. She's like, hi. And she's like, everybody can see you. And then she goes, stop it. Stop. And she goes, you promise? And she goes, thank you. And she comes back and she goes, she stopped. I'm like, she finished or she stopped? She goes, she stopped. And I go, okay. I'm like, wait, is she allowed to stay? And she goes, yeah. I go, why? And she goes, because she stopped. I go, I'm sorry, would I be allowed to stay? If I was just sitting at your bar, just kind of toying with the top, you know, like. Would you tap me on the shoulder and be like, excuse me? Will you put your leaky dick back into your pants? Thanks. You want some chicken fingers or Sprite or something? I say, you call the SWAT team and they would rappel into the building. Someone would crack my fucking head on the side of the bar and you'd have a parade as my corpse was carried out. As she goes, you're right about that. Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know. I don't jerk off in bars. Guys, have you ever thought about how many times you may have slept with your significant other? You should know the answer, so let me just start there, all right? If you do, that's terrifying, and we'd like you to leave. Yeah, if you're sitting here, you're like, oh, finally, somebody has... It's 926. There's the exit. What I'm saying as a concept, it is reasonable to assume if you've been with somebody 3 years, you have a healthy thing going on, you may have slept together a few hundred times, right? Right. Now, I want you to think about how many times your dad has finished inside of your mom. So many times. Tom, why would you say that? Well, basically, I think all of our moms are a bunch of cum dumpsters, you know, but your mom more than my mom. Now, I know, it's a tough image to get out of your head once I've planted it, right? You're like, God damn it, my mom's dripping? Probably, yeah. Soaking wet. Look, your mom has done some nasty shit. Let's talk about it. She really has. And look, I'm here to defend her, all right? It is not her fault. It's your dad's fault, for sure. Your dad, with all due respect, is kind of a piece of shit. A little bit. And if you're like, not my dad, he's good. Yeah, to you. He's not always like that to your mom. If they've been together 3 decades, you don't think he says some off-colored shit every now and then? Of course he does. They're laying in bed, your dad's tossing and turning, he can't sleep. And your poor mother, is everything all right, dear? It's fine. Was supper good? Yeah, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. Can I do anything to help? Yeah, you can lick my balls, all right? And you want to know something? Your poor mother, she does it, all right? Because she's a ball hog, so your mom gets down there. And she goes, I like my life. Oh, your mom. Now, your grandma, think about some of the things that she's done. On the railroad tracks or wherever she used to fuck around? El Paso? I don't know. You're like, why are you saying this stuff, Tom? Because I'm having fun. Because I enjoy upsetting people. Yeah, I don't know what it says about me psychologically, but there is, I don't know, there's like a marching band inside of me right now going, good job, good job. Yeah. Because internally, I picture somebody out there going like, I was having fun until he talked about my slut mom. And it makes me happy. I don't know.